Everybody, we are hanging in, hanging out, hanging on. Completely understand we are still managing and going through this thing, but we are doing it together. Globally, we are doing it together. I have been thoroughly, as you guys know, enjoying our Q&As and this opportunity that we have to stay connected, stay hopeful, stay informed, stay optimistic, stay entertained, and stay, of course, taking care of each other. But especially, just really through this interaction and you have been thanking me for doing these Q&As and answering your questions and sharing a little bit of my anecdotes, a little bit of my life lessons, a little bit of my dumb shit that I've done in the past, that has no doubt informed me on how to live better, become a better man. But you guys have been thanking me around the world, and I want to say, number one, you're welcome. But maybe more importantly than that, you should know that, this is a two-way dance. And, what I get out of this, staying connected to you guys, especially during this time of incredible stress and uncertainty, what I get out of it is invaluable as well. So thank you. I appreciate it, and I appreciate always staying connected with you guys and really continuing to strengthen and fortify this connection that we have, especially during these wild and crazy times. So there's a few questions that I wanted to ask, that I wanted to answer that I've been getting. The first question is, how often am I training now per week? Now that we are down, we have a lot of time on our hands. What kind of training schedule am I on? Well, I generally train 5 to 6 times a week with 1 day off. And the 1 day off varies wherever I feel like putting it throughout the week. But since we have been down and since we have been dealing with COVID-19, I have been training every single day, sometimes 2 times a day. And, to be honest with you, yeah, physically, I get what I get out of it physically. But more importantly than that, what it does for me mentally and the stability that it allows me to have. And it's almost like that, it's this psychological ballast that I need that gives me that stability. And I do find it in the gym and doing physical activity. Something else that you guys have been asking me is why am I not shooting my workouts and posting them or doing something on IG Live? Well, to be honest with you, I think, and look, maybe I'm a little oversensitive about this. You guys could let me know, but I just don't want to be the asshole who is, hey guys, look at me. Look at the great workouts I'm having. Look at this place. The I Am Paradise. Wow, I feel great. 280 pounds and I feel good. How about you guys? Are you guys getting it good? I mean, be creative in your house, guys. I'm having great workouts. No. I definitely don't want to do that. I just, because I am, again, maybe I'm oversensitive, but that's okay. I am who I am, and I'm empathetic, and I know that millions and millions and millions of you around the world, it's killing you not to be able to go to a gym, not to be able to get to your local gym. And, you can only do so much shit in your apartment or your house and get creative before it drives you batshit crazy. I completely understand that. So the last thing I want to do is just show you that. And you're like, thank you, Rock. Look, I got your back. But you know what? When this is all over, and it's going to happen where we're going to get ahead of this and flatten the curve, we're all going to come back, and especially you guys are going to have the best workouts of your lives. And then maybe I'll start to share some of my workouts too with you guys. Maybe we'll do something really cool and big on IG Live. But until then, I'm not going to do it. Now, just to be clear, the celebrities out there who are doing that, I'm not saying they are assholes. I'm saying that if I did that and if I showed you my workouts in this gym, and by the way, this gym isn't pretty. A lot of the celebrities' gyms, they're pretty gyms. They're nice. There's nothing pretty about this gym. This is the place, this is the ego debilitator, the ego crusher. There is loud music, there is intensity, there's sweat, there's spit, sometimes there's vomit. There's nothing pretty about this gym, and I don't know if it's actually not appropriate to show my workouts because there's enough rage that I am training with every single day for all of us, by the way. So if you choose, you could live vicariously through me. I'm happy just to let you guys know that I am training and getting after it, and generally I like holding these Q&As or answering your questions once I'm done working out, when I'm actually in a mood to talk. Because before that, I got a lot of intensity and I got a lot of rage to get out. You're like, Rock, is that healthy? I believe it is very healthy. By the way, just back to what I was saying, I'm not calling celebrities an asshole for showing their workouts and their pretty gyms and their mansions and things like that. I'm not. I'm just saying that I would feel like an asshole if I did that. So I'm not going to do that, but maybe one day I will. Another question is that I wrote the questions down on that board over there. This is a question I get asked all the time. Is when am I going to go on Joe Rogan's podcast? I can't wait to do it. Joe's a good buddy of mine, and we've talked about doing his podcast in the past. I think, once things settle down and we get back to a sense of normalcy for our society, then I can't wait to go on. But hopefully I'll go on this year. Again, he's a buddy of mine, and I'm really proud of him too, because, he not only is he kicking ass out there, he's so incredibly successful, but it's also incredibly difficult, I think, to start off someplace, and I believe he started off in the world of entertainment and comedy, and then transition and transcend that to a world of MMA, and now for him to be the voice, the global voice of the UFC, and certainly with the success of his podcast, I'm quite proud of him, and he's kicking ass, and he shoots from the hip, and he works his ass off in the gym, so he takes a page out of my DNA. So one day I look forward to doing my buddy's podcast. The other question, and this is a question, it's actually the number one question that I've been asked, that is, how do I feel about the coronavirus? How are we dealing with it as a family? And is there any intel that I could share with you guys? Well, there's not any intel that I have that you guys don't already have. The truth is we're dealing with it just like you guys are all around the world as a family, doing the best we can to manage it, trying to stay informed, and trying to stay disciplined when it comes to social distancing. And what's really interesting during this time, it's a very trying time. And I think, for us as a family, just trying in terms of the unknown, and it's the great uncertainty. And we have gone through life fairly knowing what tomorrow can hopefully look like, that tomorrow can bring a brighter light, that tomorrow will bring some sunshine to an otherwise dark time. Usually we're able to count on that. Now, what's interesting about this time is we can't count on that. And it drives, for a man like me, it drives me crazy, because I am just by nature one who likes to do and to take action. But in this case, there's limited action that we can do, and we can only control the things that we can control. And what we can control is to be disciplined about social distancing, be disciplined about staying in the house, and also there's an accountability that we have as Americans, and as well as everybody around the world, and that is to take this serious. And it feels like everyone is finally. So we are dealing with it too. And, I also found it, I don't know how it is for you guys, but I found that, the days, it's almost like it's been about 50-50, where, and as we're going into the third week now of this, for me, they've been 50-50 percentage in terms of one day I feel good, I feel like I got a handle on things, I look around, I make sure my family is good. And, the number one priority for us as a family, like many of you guys out there around the world, is making sure that as best we can, that our children and our babies don't feel a big disruption in their life. And of course, the older they are, the more disruption they do feel of not going to school, not seeing their friends and things like that. And I know many of my friends and many of you guys around the world have had these conversations with your children about what this is and what it's going to be, and trying to put a bright light and a positive spin on it, which we should, because it is going to change back in our favor. And what I've found is my days have been about 50-50 with this thing, where I'll have a good day, and then the next day will be a little wobbly. And the wobbly comes in, again, just the unknown and not knowing. And it's also what I have found. What I found is it's a real critical time for us to it's a critical time for us to exercise and manage our emotions through this thing, because you spend enough time on the internet, you could 2 clicks down, and all of a sudden you're in a wormhole, and all of a sudden we're going to get wiped out as a society, and all of a sudden there's conspiracy theories going on. I mean, you really got to be careful. I think as it relates to the news, within about a 5 to 10 minute span, we could get the bottom line brass tacks of what's going on in our country and all around the world, and then that's it, and then that's where I leave it. But for me, it's been about a 50-50 shot so far. I want to start, eventually 75-25. I'd like to get into that place, then eventually 100%, but we'll see. Something also interesting that I want to share with you guys regarding this, and you're probably feeling it too, something that's in the air. I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking today, and we were talking about, and because I brought this up because I was like, man, I feel like I'm grieving again. I feel like I'm grieving. My dad decided to check out, and he dropped dead January 15th of this year, and without saying goodbye, and just, it happened so quick. Bang, didn't get a chance to say goodbye, and it just slipped through my hands. He slipped through my hands. And I grieved as much as I could. We went to the funeral. I wrote the eulogy. It was a beautiful ceremony. But I also felt like I had to immediately throw myself right back into work, and that's what I did. So I'm not quite too sure if I actually had a chance to grieve properly and give myself the time and space to do that. But this time, there's been days where I've woken up and felt like moments throughout the day, like, this feels like, am I grieving? But I was talking to my friend today who had such an incredible perspective, which is, the world is actually grieving, and it's in the air. There's a global grief that's going on, and it's in the air. And the reason why I'm sharing this perspective with you is because it's almost like when we could come up 50,000 feet in the air and get a really nice high perspective, and we're not down in the weeds and down in the muck of things, which, again, this is where we have to exercise that managing quality that we have. We got to manage our emotions, because it's easy to get pulled down and sucked down, especially when it comes to mental wellness. And it's good to come up and have this perspective up here, 50,000 feet, because then you realize that the entire globe is going through this grief, and it's the grief of the unknown. And when something like that is so heavy and it's in the air, it permeates all of us, and we've got to be careful about it. This is where, again, you got to lean on your partners, your wife, your husband, your loved ones, the things that you love to do, meditate, things that make you happy, cook together. We're spending a lot of time at home now, but it is a real, it's an awareness thing. And again, when things are that heavy, it of course, no wonder we wake up and we feel like 50-50. Sometimes we're great, sometimes we're wobbly. But also, the thing that I keep coming back to is a fundamental quality of faith. And I don't mean religious faith, but I just mean the quality of having faith that things are going to get better. And that's not just blind faith. That's faith based on fact. And the fact is, we've already seen globally that China is bouncing back slowly but surely. They flattened their curve. They're bouncing back. By the way, it doesn't matter to me where it came from. It's not a China virus. It's not a Chinese virus. It's a human global virus that we're all dealing with. I don't care at this point where it came from. All I care about is our people, our human race, and how fast and smart and effective and empathetically we can all mobilize to combat this thing and get ahead of it. That's all I care about. We're going to have conversations with China, I'm sure, as a country, and just to figure out what they learned, how we can become more informed to make sure that if it comes back round 2 in the next flu season, we are even better equipped. So the point is we are already seeing an uptick. So there's glimmers of hope there. There's glimmers of hope there. Italy, my heart goes out to Italy and everything, the devastation, the heartbreak devastation that they're going through. I believe that yesterday was the very first day, a glimmer of hope, where the surge wasn't as strong, the spike wasn't as strong, and it leveled just a little bit. I believe it was yesterday, which again it's a positive ray of light. So we are seeing that right now, of course, in our own country, our own nation, our own people, our American people, as we are hunkering down, as we go into week 3, I believe we're going to have to go into this week 4, week 5. It feels like at that point, we're hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to start to see a leveling off. I'm concerned about New York and everything that's happening in New York right now. And everybody on the front lines, of course, the doctors, the nurses, the healthcare workers, all across the country. So I'd like to see New York, where it has become the epicenter. I'd like to see that curve flatten. And fingers crossed it happens within the next week, 2 weeks, 3. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, nor am I the president in the administration, so I'm not privy to what they're seeing and what they're finding. But getting back to hope and faith is that fundamental key quality that we've got to hold on to. So again, it's not blind faith. It's faith when you look around the world and you're seeing positive things happening. Even if they're slow, you're seeing positive things happening through their own social distancing and through their own self-policing that they're doing. Men, I was thinking about this too. This is directly to the men out there. We as men, we like to fix shit. And we take pride in that. It's like the two-hand philosophy that I always talk about. It's like, I'm going to fix it. What's the problem? I'm going to fix it. This is how many of fights with our wives and loved ones have happened, where they would ultimately go, I don't need you to fix shit. I just need you to understand. Baby, I understand. Now let me fix it. This is a thing that we just can't fix. Now we can control what we can control and be leaders for our families and be equal partners for our wives. But what I have found is, now's the time where we got to step up as men. And, in terms of the multiple chores around the house, and I'm not saying we're not doing that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying now's a good time to be even more acutely aware and empathetic to our wives and loved ones who are in essence the frontline workers in our own house. So now's a good time. I know for me personally, it was a nice awareness factor that I was able to shift into and go, okay, I need to calm down my jets in terms of trying to fix things and do little things around the house that I otherwise haven't been doing, but I'm happy to do now. And you know what? Those little things around the house, men, make a big difference with our wives and our girlfriends and our loved ones and our partners. So, what else? What else did I write down? I wrote down something over there. So this is a good one. I think this weekend what we'll do is I'm gonna go live on IGTV, and I'm gonna break out my bottle of Terramana. I'm gonna break out my favorite drinking glass. I might even bring a shaker. I might even make a margarita. We'll see. And I might even break out my cheat meal. And I want all you guys around the world to join me if you're up and awake. I want you to break out your favorite bottle of your favorite spirit, of your favorite liquid, whatever you want to drink. And many of you already have your bottles of Terramana, which I appreciate. Break out your bottles of Terramana. Break out your favorite cheat meal. Because on Sunday, we're going to have a Q&A, and it's going to be live, and I'm going to be answering and addressing any and all of your questions while we eat our cheat meal and while we drink our Terramana. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is 18 minutes, almost 19 minutes of your life you will never get back. Thank you for hanging out with me, and thank you for engaging with me, and thank you for staying engaged. Thank you for staying connected. Again, I love every second of this and staying engaged with you and connected and informed and entertained. I look forward to Sunday. We're gonna have ourselves a little tequila party, or whatever it is that you're bringing to the table. I welcome any and all liquids. But thank you guys again. Everybody stay healthy and stay strong, stay vigilant, stay disciplined, and stay optimistic and have faith. You gotta have faith that we're gonna get through this thing. Again, it's not a religious thing. It is a fundamental quality that we should all hang on to, which is faith that we're gonna get through. Because look, at the end of the day, and I firmly believe this as an American and somebody who cares deeply about our country and somebody who cares incredibly deeply about our American people, we are resilient. But also, everybody around the world, we are a resilient human race. And we are going to get through this. And I do believe in my heart of hearts that we will once again rise. And by the way, on the other side of this, on the other side of this, just think of how much more aware we're going to be, how much more enthusiastic we're going to be, how much more informed we're going to be to live an even greater life. Because, you know, shit like this, it has a good way of informing us on how we're going to step and move forward. So once we flatten our curves and once we get ahead of this thing, and we will, I anticipate a really big, robust bounce back for us as human beings. So, all right, I love you guys. Thank you. 20 minutes of your life you're never going to get back. And stay healthy and have a great weekend. And I will see you on Sunday, IGTV Live. I'll tell you the name. I'll tell you the time. I'll post what time it is, and I'm bringing that to Mana. Get ready. All right, love y'all, and stay healthy.